Daggone, it's not focusing right. It is. There it is. That's better. Oh, well, good afternoon, Knicks family. Happy Sunday to you, if there is such a thing. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope you are safe today and that your family is safe and that you guys are all enjoying your weekend and what's left of it. And today, the Knicks aren't playing actually yesterday or today, but some significant things did happen. We'll talk about that. We want to talk about the Knicks in terms of getting ready for the playoffs and the future of the Knicks. We'll talk about different players: Randle, RJ, IQ, Obi, Deuce, Hart, and then, of course, Mitch Rob. So we're going to all that. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to Guilford, my brother, and Sister Margaret Edwards. Welcome to you. And so first, let's talk about overall the Knicks, just overall. People sometimes tend to go overboard in terms of thinking something that's temporary is permanent, and then thinking something that's permanent is temporary. Especially this is true when it comes to sports, and especially this is true when it comes to the Knicks. At the beginning of the season, if you guys remember, hey, what's up, Kenny Payne? What's up? I love that name, Kenny Payne. What's up? In the beginning of the season, we were talking about 45 wins as a minimum for the Knicks. You remember that. We were talking about 45 wins. People were talking about play-in or 37 wins. Most people were talking in that vein that had big platforms, so on and so forth, which I thought was ridiculous. It was Knicks hate, and it wasn't realistic. As we're now 7 games left in the season, I raised the expectation to 47 wins, and I still think that. I think the Knicks will end up around 46, 47 wins after they started getting better as you got closer now to the end of the season. People start going crazy about temporary things. Right now, the Knicks, let us not forget, brethren. What's up, Jerry? What's up, Kenny? The Knicks are in year 3 of the rebuild of the Tom Thibodeau era. We're not even finished year 3 yet. Okay? This is year 3 of Leon Rose's full 3 years now. He's been there. He started March, almost 3.5 years ago. But really, this is season 3 of Leon Rose. Summer coming up will be his 4th summer. And if the Knicks front office team. Okay? So people go overboard, and it's a combination of things, as we all know. Deshaun, what's up? Angril, what's up? Ducoulis, 718 Brooklyn, what's up? People go crazy. What's up, Kenneth Lane? What was I saying? So people go overboard in the sense that they're either expecting the Knicks to be in the championship window now and start crapping on them when they realize they're not, or they're saying the Knicks are going to be the terrible and not make the play-in and they're overperforming. It's not like there's no in between. And then there were those, if you recall, during the course of the season that kept saying, I'm tired of the Knicks being middling, which I thought was utterly stupid and ridiculous, and I'll tell you why. When you're the Knicks rebuilding, you're coming from the bottom. Okay? In order to get to the top, it's the steps, and it's not always a linear. In other words, it's not straight like that or like that. You understand? So it's going up and down, almost like the stock market. And you got to go through the middle to get to the top. The Knicks were on the bottom for more than 20 years. And we finally got a management team. And most people don't realize that we have this new management team. And this is not the management team from, say, Isaiah Thomas. This is a different situation. And they're counting everything that happened before as if it's cumulative to now. It's pretty dumb, actually. The Knicks, you got to count the Knicks from 3 years ago. This is year 3 of the Knicks. Okay, this is not. Good morning, Stoop Kids. Good morning, Lawrence. Good morning, Valex. Good morning, King Ribby. My man, Naviska. Good morning. How you guys doing? You can't look at the New York Knicks as if this is 1995 or 2005 or 1985 or 1975. This is 2023. Okay, so you got to look at the Knicks starting 3 years ago. Y'all got me? Wallace, what's up? Nancy, Miss Stevenson, how you doing? You got to look at it from 3 years ago and start from there when you're judging your New York Knicks. Okay? And you got to balance that. And I know it's difficult because you got media that's acting like this is 20 years ago. Okay? And then when they're going to win a streak, people think they cannot be beat. They're going to win 50 games and they can't be beat. You know, you got balance is hold these horses a little bit and look at a team that's in year 3 of development. Y'all got me. When you understand it like that, you're going to see it a little differently. Your expectations will be a little different. Okay? So right now in year 3, the Knicks are doing great. I mean, really. First year, they overperformed. I mean, when you think about the first year that Tom Thibodeau came and they got Julius was in his second season with the Knicks. You had guys like Bullock. Okay. You had the point guard. I forgot his name now, but you got the point guard that was there, Elfrid Payton. RJ was only in his second season, age 20. Okay, so you had basically a young team. They overperformed in that first season. And what happens in New York when you do something like that, the media and a large fan base expects you to go to the championship the next year. When really they overperformed in that first season. Julius Randle was a revelation in that first season. Okay, I certainly didn't think he was going to be that good. And then even after that, I didn't think he can continue to be that good. I thought that was an anomaly because it was his contract year. So that was, that's why Tom Thibodeau was voted Coach of the Year, as he should have been. Second season was more like it should have been. Okay. And even with that, y'all know, like there was a combination of things. Y'all saw it. Tom Thibodeau doesn't like to play rookies. He doesn't like to play them significant minutes. Okay, he just doesn't. This is the way it is. A lot of coaches like that, but Tom is one of those coaches. So when we were all thinking, yes, and I was, we got to play Deuce more. You got to play IQ more. You got to give Obi more minutes. He wasn't looking like that. And then the management made a mistake and made moves that didn't really include Tom Thibodeau's thought, like getting Kemba Walker. That wasn't a Tom Thibodeau move at all. That was a Leon move. Okay. That was a terrible move. And then, of course, you had the COVID complications that messed with everybody. Thank you, Walter Blackman. I appreciate that. Reggie Phillip. What's up, y'all? What's up, Coach Rubens? With salute. Prince Blizzard, how you doing? Kanal Banya Lawa, Ma'ak, how you doing? And I hope everybody's safe and enjoying your weekend. So, that was the second year was 37 wins, which is more in line of what you would expect in the second year of a rebuild. Okay. All the other variables notwithstanding. So this year, if the Knicks was able to get to the 6th seed, just get there. Forget what they do in the playoffs. Just getting to the 6th seed this year is tremendous. Because why? You got RJ now 22. You got Mitch Rob 24. Okay. You got now the guys that Tom Thibodeau wouldn't play are getting in the rotation. Guys like Obi Toppin, guys like Quentin Grimes, guys like Emmanuel Quickley are getting significant minutes in some cases in the rotation. And then, of course, you're bringing along a Deuce McBride. For them to get to the 6th seed with this is tremendous. Okay? Just getting there. Forget what they do in the playoffs. But if you notice, brethren, and tell me if you notice this, now people talk about it's a disappointment if they don't get into the second round. It's a disappointment if they don't get into that. This is year 3. Y'all following me? This is year 3. I'm gonna talk about that, Nancy. We got Mitch Rob on tap. But This is year 3. What are you talking about? If they get to the second round and they don't get it, it's a disappointment. For them to be the 5th seed in the East right now is tremendous. Year 3. Now you take the same team, and we're going to talk about that, a tweak this summer, and they'll win 50 games next year because that'll be year 4. Okay? That'll be year 4. Look at the Celtics, for example, as an example of a rebuilding team that started with a Jason Tatum and with a Jaylen Brown and build up to where they get to the finals last year. They didn't do it overnight. Okay? So this is the same thing the Knicks are doing. All right. So right now, for them to be the 5th seed, and I feel like they're going to stay in the 5th seed. I don't feel like they're going to drop, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I still feel like they'll get 46, 47 wins, and I still feel like they're going to be ready to go in the first round, in spite of all the crap people are talking right now with everything that has recently happened. The Knicks right now, before I'm going to go into Julius Randle first, but the Knicks right now really just need a combination kind of a wing power forward guy. A guy that's ready, that's like don't have to be a superstar, but a guy that's in his prime, that's ready to help the Knicks make that championship window open. And I've named a couple of the guys, Mikal Bridges, Jeremy Grant. We talked about Kristaps Porzingis. We're talking about guys that are in their prime, that 26, 27, 28-year-old guy it got 2, 3, 4 years left in his prime, that knows what it's like to win, that knows what it's like to get to the playoffs, maybe an all-star, and is ready to make that leap with a team that's ready to make that leap. Okay? If we get a guy like that, I like our chances next year. Okay? But that's the tweak that we need. That brings me to Julius Randle. We've talked about Julius. We've talked about it. And again, I'm going to admit, I did not want the Knicks to sign him. When Steve Mills and Scott Perry went out to California to talk to him, I was hoping they didn't come back and say they signed Julius Randle. I was only happy about the fact that he had a 3-year deal and the 3rd year was a team option. I was glad about that. But to me, he was always a turnover machine with empty, sugar-high stats and never winning, helping the team win. That's the way I looked at it. Okay, from Los Angeles to New Orleans, that's how I looked at it. The first year with the Knicks, he proved me right. And at the end of that year, Ian Begley had reported the Knicks were looking for a stretch 4. In other words, they were trying to replace him. That's why they drafted Obi Toppin. But then he became all NBA. Tom Thibodeau stuck up for him. And that's been the story. Now he's an indestructible. One of his strengths that nobody can deny is he's available. He's available. You can love or hate Julius Randle. What you cannot tell me is that he's unavailable. He's available. Dude doesn't get hurt. Ever since his rookie year, he's been indestructible. Dude's like a brick doo-doo house. And you know what? You want him to play, he's going to be there. Okay? He's going to be there. I don't care how many minutes he plays. He's going to be there. Okay, so that's a plus, especially with Tom Thibodeau. That's big deal. Okay. In the beginning of this season has shown me a lot about him, both positive and negative. On the positive, he has the talent to be all NBA, to be an all-star, and to be all NBA. On the positive. Okay. He has the talent. There's no doubt. Julius Randle is an extremely talented player, and he's a star. As I said, the difference in my view between a star and a superstar is one of the differences. There's several, but one of them is you cannot get inside a superstar's head. You could try, but you'll be wasting your time because he's going to just destroy you anyway. A Kawhi Leonard comes to mind. You cannot mess with Kawhi Leonard's head. You can't mess with his head. He's going to destroy you on both sides of the ball if you're not careful. Okay, you can't get inside his head. You can't mess with Antetokounmpo. You just can't. You keep trying to mess with his head, he's going to get a chip on you. Okay, those are superstars. You can't get in LeBron's head. You can't get in Kobe's head when he was alive. Rest in peace. You can't get in Jordan's head. You can only agitate him, but you can get in Julius Randle's head. A star is this is not theory. We already know every once in a while he'll just carry you and win the game. A star do that. Okay, he'll just carry you in the game. He just might show up and hit 6 threes on you, drop 45, and they'll win. That's true. He might just do that because he's got that type of talent. Now, will he carry the Knicks to the chip? I doubt it. And the reason is because of the head. Because of the head. Okay? That's the reason. Look, this is the NBA. It's the league. People will use anything. Any weakness you show, they're going to use it to exploit you. Everybody does it. It's the league. It's like a jungle, right? When the cheaters that run 90 miles, 70 miles an hour and get to 3 stars and not 70, they don't waste their energy trying to chase the fastest antelope. They're looking for the guy in the back, the little one that's weak. And they'll get that for dinner. That's the NBA. They're looking for the weak link and they'll attack it. Everybody does that. Every team. Okay? So if they know they can get in Randle's head, they're going to try to do it. Okay? They're going to try to do it. Problem is, his stature on the Knicks is first option. His stature on the Knicks is leader. That's the problem. Okay? So if he, and this is for the future, for this year, as he is right now, the Knicks can win a first-round series against Cleveland. As he is right now. I know people tripping because of the recent events, but don't let that dull the overall situation. Right now, the Knicks can beat Cleveland. They could lose too now, but they're capable of beating Cleveland. Okay? Don't sleep on them. Don't let what happened in Orlando trip because it's all over the media about Julius tripping out as if they can't beat Cleveland. They could, one fool had the nerve. This is how stupid it gets. I don't even see them making the play-in. Wait. Did you hear what somebody said? They'll be lucky to make the play-in. They in the 5th seed, fool. That's what I'm saying. Oh, man, come on with the Derrick Rose, man. Come on, man. Dude, 100 years old. He done. Some of you, I know you got that D Rose poster from Chicago with him doing the dunk like that on your wall, but dude is done. Okay, stop it. I was at the game and this dude said, put Derrick Rose in the second quarter. Like, yo, why don't you shut up? Put Derrick Rose in? Over who? Over Quick? What's wrong with you? Over Deuce? What's wrong with you? Put Derrick Rose in? Over who? Y'all crazy. Some of y'all crazy, man. Derrick Rose done. Let him collect his 15. My nephew was like, why don't they put Derrick Rose in? I said, dude is like 100 years old. Who he playing over? Who is he playing over? Are you going to sit Deuce Moore, who plays the best defense on perimeter the team got beside Grimes, so that you can get old behind Derrick Rose in for a couple minutes? What's wrong with some of y'all? You crazy? No, Derrick Rose shouldn't play. He's a mascot. He's a coach. And he's an overpaid coach because he's getting $15 million. Okay? He's getting $15 million. Stop that, man. And this whole Melo thing, look, if Melo could help a team win, he'd have a contract right now. There's 30 teams in the NBA. He ain't on none of them. Did you hear me? If Melo could help somebody win, he'd be on somebody's roster right now. Serge Ibaka is. But he can't. He's finished. He finished. Okay? I'm trying to, stop all. I understand when they scored 60, when they was MVPs. Yeah. But that's, you know what? That's yesterday, man. This is today. This is 2023. These cats are done. Okay? Done. You know what I'm saying? Just stop it. Melo be a nice story for a dude to retire in New York. Give him that little minimum contract or less, 10 days so he can retire a Knick. Okay. But I heard Melo talk about retiring as a Denver Nugget. So what's this? So all this Melo and D Rose? Stop with these old cats, man. They belong sitting in the stands with me. Shoot. Man, please. I'm not chilling about Melo. He's finished. Done. Y'all need to calm. What old is that dude? 38? 39? What's wrong with y'all? Who you gonna play in front of? RJ? For what? In front of Grimes? What, you crazy? In front of Obi? Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop for real. I love Melo. Don't get it twisted, but some of y'all wet dreaming, man. You need to stop. Some of y'all wet dreaming. That's over. That's over. Sometimes it gets to the point where you're done. Melo's done. D Rose is done. Yeah, bring Ewing. Go get Dr. J. Let's see if we can sign Jordan. Finally get into the Garden. I mean, seriously. Oh my gosh, man. Stop with that. And people don't think, like, who you going to play these guys in front of so that they can get their little thing off? What, you going to play them in front of Obi? What, you crazy? What you going to play? Where you going to play Derrick Rose? In front of who? Brunson? IQ? Deuce? Let's talk about something more pertinent. So right now, as the Knicks stand right now, with Julius Randle, with everybody they got, they could beat Cleveland in the first round. They could lose now, but they are very capable of beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Okay? They're very capable of doing that. Look, you know how crazy the league is right now? Check this out. Last week, I think it was like a week ago, right? The Knicks beat Denver. A fully healthy Denver, right? The Knicks beat Denver. And I think that was the second time this season they beat Denver, right? Then last night, Denver goes and destroys the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Milwaukee Bucks will turn around and destroy the Knicks. Wait, check this out. So the Knicks beat Miami twice. Knicks go to Miami last week and lose. Brooklyn, the Knicks beat, and then Brooklyn beat the Knicks. Brooklyn goes to Miami and destroys Miami last night. And that was with Max Strus hitting like 7 threes in the first. I watched the game. 7 threes in the first half. They destroyed the Heat at the second half. This league, I don't recall now. I've been a basketball fan, NBA fan a long time. I don't recall the parity being like this in a long time. I mean, when in the 70s, it was kind of like that. In the 80s, though, it was all Lakers, Boston. And then you have Detroit coming in. And at the end of the 80s, the Bulls started coming in. You had the Bulls in the 90s with the Knicks trying to threaten them. But and then you had Houston. But the parity right now in the NBA, I don't think I've seen it like this. It's a high level. And right now, with 7 games to go in the regular season, I think we can agree. I think you would agree if I said we're already seeing playoff intensity, right? Y'all notice that? We're already seeing playoff intensity right now. Okay, we're seeing playoff intensity. Okay, right now. Every game is very intense. Okay, every game right now, because either teams are trying to play spoiler, even teams that you would expect to tank, like Houston, they ain't tanking. They trying to beat you. They trying to disappoint your season. That's what they're trying to do. And so it really is. But Randle, for now, he is what he is. Okay. People should stop trying to act like he's supposed to change overnight. It's not going to happen. He is what he is. He's our problem child. So you're going to get games where he's going to go off, and then you're going to get games where he's going to trip out, act like he want to beat up his own teammate or a coach. It is what it is, man. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? So, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. So right now, the window for the championship is not open. Okay? There are better teams than the Knicks, and it's mostly because it's not talent. It's because of continuity and maturity of them playing together. So the Boston's a better team. Milwaukee's a better team. Philly's a better team. They've been playing together for a minute. Cleveland's a better team because they've been playing together. They just added Donovan Mitchell to a team they already had. So these guys have been playing longer together. But the Knicks' talent level can beat any of them at any time. Okay, but over a 7-game series, matchup-wise, Milwaukee's going to be tough for the Knicks. Boston, not so much. The Knicks could beat Boston. But Milwaukee's going to be tough in the 7-game series for the Knicks. That is what it is. But that's just this season. Okay, it's not always going to be that way. Think about it. Milwaukee's not really changing their team. Their team is set. Their championship window is open because they've already won a chip. So they got Antetokounmpo, they got Middleton, they got Jrue Holiday, they got Brook Lopez. They just re-signed Bobby Portis. They're going to have that team going forward. That's their team. Okay, they're at their ceiling right now. Okay, so the Knicks are not at their ceiling. Okay, not at their ceiling. So that's why there's room for the Knicks to get better. There's really no room for Milwaukee to get better. But where they are right now is championship level. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so going forward with Randle, right now, we got to deal with what we got to deal with. It is what it is. In terms of the future, in terms of the summer and next year, in terms of Randle's future, we don't know. As fans, nobody knows what the front office is thinking. Am I right? Like the Don keeps the inner sanctum private. I like it, but in this case, we don't know what they're thinking about Randle. They haven't looked to trade him this year. Obviously, he's been an all-star. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Okay, I don't know. It would definitely be hard to replace him talent-wise. It's not easy. Like I don't know how many of y'all, like I've been to a couple of games this year. The thing about this dude, man, is when he decides to use his physical gifts positively, he's a tough dude. I ain't gonna front. He is tough. Now, yes, Viz shot defensively. He falls asleep or he gets lazy. He does. When he's locked in defensively, he can be very, very good. Very, very good. But the question is, you almost don't know when you're going to get that from him. And that's another thing that stops him from being the superstar he could be. So I don't know, but when he decides to get ahead of steam and go to the basket strong, there's very few people that could do it like that. I'm trying to tell you, just to watch the force with which he attacks the rim, Julius is the deal in that area, okay? And when he starts hitting the fallaways in the lane, it's almost impossible to guard, okay? But I don't know. See, so you're going to have to get a talent that will replace that talent, and that's not easy to do. Like I said, let's assume for the sake of argument, you started Obi Toppin and you go get a Jeremy Grant, or you go get if you were able to go get a Bridges, which I don't think they're going to be able to do, you get a Bridges, or you get a Jeremy Grant, or you get a Kristaps Porzingis, and you're starting Obi Toppin. Obi, I believe, could be good, but now you're taking a step back because you're going to need a year for Obi to get used to being in that role. Okay, you're going to take a little step back. So if you want to step forward, you're going to have to replace Randle with a guy that's that age in that prime area right now. Like I said, somebody in their prime that's ready to make that next leap. It's not easy to replace that. It's not. Okay? It's not. And some of y'all already drooling about Jaylen Brown. Look, I don't know how many of y'all been Knicks fans a long time, but there was a time when Dr. J was supposed to leave the Sixers and come to the Knicks because he was on the Nets. Everybody's like, well, he's going to come to the Knicks. He's from New York. He's going to come to the Knicks. And every summer, for all of his life, all of his Philadelphia 76er tenure, everybody was expecting him in his next contract to come to the Knicks. Never happened. Before that, when Abdul-Jabbar was Lou Alcindor and he was leaving Milwaukee, he was supposed to come to the Knicks. Everybody was like, he's going to come to the Knicks. He's coming to the Knicks. He's coming to the Knicks. He went to the Lakers. And he said his second choice was the Bullets. He was going to go to D.C. He liked D.C., and then they burned his house down or something. And that was the end of that. But he never came to the Knicks. And so we've been hearing these type of rumors for decades. So when you guys think, well, Jaylen Brown might come to the Knicks, he might. But let's not get carried away. I'm going to tell you something. If the Celtics lose in the first round, it's possible. Other than that, all bets are off until he doesn't sign on the dotted line by the next trade deadline. Okay, so let's calm down on the Jaylen Brown thing and all the speculation about who we're going to trade to get Jaylen Brown. I see a lot of fools out there doing this, and it's stupid. It's like fantasy basketball. I mean, if you get off on fantasy basketball, that's your business, okay? I kind of don't, because I've been seeing fantasy basketball with the Knicks for 40 years, okay? We didn't get Jabbar. We didn't get Doc. We didn't get Jordan. We didn't get LeBron. We were after all those guys, okay? We were after all those guys, all right? Didn't get any of them. Okay, so cool your jets. The best way to build is draft and get pieces and develop. That's the best way to build. And the Knicks are doing it. With the Don, they're doing that right now. Okay, so as far as Randle, I don't know how the front office feels about him. Would they trade him? I don't know. What would you get for him? I mean, I don't know. Really, I don't know. There's nothing on Dallas I want. He would probably like to go to Dallas. He's from Dallas. But there's nothing on Dallas I want. There's nothing there. Okay? Ain't nothing there. Luka ain't leaving. If Luka's leaving, it don't matter then, right? Okay? So I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere. I would just err on the side, say he's not going anywhere. Okay? So just forget that. So that's what it is. But RJ, let's talk about RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is 22. Some people say I'm making an excuse because I say he's 22, which is very stupid. That's like saying a child can't walk at 12 months. This other child walked at 9 months. Something wrong with my child. Every child grows at their own pace, including RJ. He is 22. The things he does on the court indicates he's 22. If you know basketball, okay? Which means he makes some dumb mental mistakes at 22. And he also does some tremendous things on the court at 22. Okay? So he's 22. He's not going to be 23 until June or something. Okay? So what we have with RJ is somebody that's developing in right before our eyes. Of course, in New York, y'all don't never see nobody develop in front of your eyes unless he's on another team. But he is developing right in front of us. He's just not developing at the speed people would like. Okay? He's a young guy. He's a boy, really. And he's now developing. I think by the time maybe he's 24, but he's not a superstar. I don't think RJ will ever be a superstar. But I do believe he's a championship piece. You know why? Because once he stops making the 22-year-old mistakes, which I feel like he's going to mature and not do that, and he becomes more efficient, which I believe he will, you're going to get a guy that has high IQ, that's very strong and will punish weaker players, that is good on the boards, will get you 5-6 rebounds a game, can get you 18 to 22 a game. That's a solid rotational piece for a championship team. Okay? And every once in a while, we'll drop 40 on somebody. You know, you're not going to get Jordan. You're not going to get Ja, but that's not RJ. Okay? This is a piece. Okay? Now, which brings me to the next guy. Now, that's what you got right now. So, again, this playoffs year right here, above all things, brethren, I want to make sure y'all understand this part. This is about RJ getting playoff experience as a major player at age 22. This is no matter what happens, when he comes out of this playoff this season, this year, he's going to be a better player. It's going to cause him to go back in the summer and learn. That's what you want from your number 3 overall pick at age 22. Okay? Not everybody's going to get a superstar in the top 5. It doesn't happen every year. That's why there's superstars. Yeah, I like that. I like the Caron Butler comp. That's a very good comp, actually. I like that comp. That's a very good comp. And there's nothing wrong with that. Exactly. I like that. That's a good comp. I never thought about that, but you're right. He is a lot like Caron Butler. He is. He's a left-handed version of Caron Butler. And I think still Jimmy Butler, because I think RJ will eventually be a better, more consistent three-point shooter than Jimmy Butler. And he's still learning footwork. And it's excellent that that Brunson is there, because RJ, I've already noticed he's picked up a few Brunson moves. Let him continue to learn. So this playoff, he may falter, but he's going to learn playoff basketball as a young man, as a starter for the New York Knicks. It's going to only help him, okay? And it's going to help the Knicks. Future, he's going to be a really good, solid piece. Now, the question is, the decision the Knicks have to make is, do you want a guy that's ready now? Like, if you get a guy, RJ's going to be 23. So you want to groom him. But do you want a guy that's 26, 27 right now? That's where RJ will be in 2 years or 3 years. You can get that right now with a Grant. Jeremy Grant can bring you that right now. You won't get the mistakes. You won't get the mental lapses. You'll get the very solid defense that you would get from RJ when he's 25. But you can get it from Grant now. So that's the question you got to contemplate if you're the Knicks. Do you take RJ now and just, and get what you can for him now, so that you can get a piece that can slide right into your starting lineup and help you compete for the chip? Or do you wait with RJ for 2 more years while he's developing? That's the question that has to be asked with regard to RJ Barrett. It's no question he's going to be a solid piece. I love that Karan. That's the best, who did that? Canal. That's the best comp I've seen in the whole time about RJ. That is a really good comp. Karan Butler's a really good comp. That's a great comp, as a matter of fact. I like that. Thank you for that, Canal, because I like that. But are you willing to wait for him to get to that point or not? Because you do have a Jeremy Grant out there right now that's going to be available. Okay, so what are you going to do? That's the question for the Knicks to make this summer. I don't know, because you can't go wrong either way. One just gets you quicker to the way you want to go than the other, but the other is more of a long-term play for your team. No, see, that's the thing, Margaret Edwards. They're never going to put him on the bench. No, that's not ever going to happen. See, they'll trade him before they put him on the bench. He's now a starter. He's been starting since he was 19. He's not going to come off the bench. Not until after his prime. RJ is a permanent starter. So now thinking of it like that, Margaret, what are you thinking? If you're saying, okay, he's not going to come off the bench, so what are you going to do? You got to make a decision now. Are you going to grow with him? You're going to let him grow, and you're going to grow with him? Is he in the timeline to do that? Or are you going to try to get a Grant, a KP, somebody you can plug in right now that will get you ready now? Well, that's a question that has to be asked. Okay, that's a question that has to be asked. I don't know. I can't predict what they're going to do. I don't want to predict what they're going to do. But I'm telling you, those are the 2 paths you're talking about. You're not going to bring him off the bench. I'm going to tell you, as much as I think Grimes is better than RJ right now, I'd rather Grimes start, and I agree with you, Margaret Edwards. If they're going to get a Grant and they're keeping RJ, bring RJ into the second unit, you and I both know the reality is Grimes will go to the second unit. And that should not happen. Grimes will go to the second unit before RJ does. It's just the politics. It's just the pecking order. That's just how it is, right? Okay, so that's the decision the Knicks have to make. That's the Don decision this summer the Knicks have to make. Okay, but this year, where we are right now, is perfect for this young team. Perfect. 5th seed, going into the playoffs to play Cleveland. It doesn't get much better than that with this Knicks team in year 3. We should all be very happy with what's going on with the Knicks. We should all be rejoicing at what has happened this year. Okay, that we should. We shouldn't be complaining about the Knicks at all, because they're really doing well in the 5th seed. Thinking of that, right now, the Knicks are the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're right now, as we speak, they are a game and a half above the Brooklyn Nets and 2 full games above Miami. Now, right now, the Knicks will be playing Houston, and I'm not sleeping on Houston, but it's a good game for them to have at the Garden. They're playing Houston tomorrow night at the Garden, whereas Miami What's Miami? Miami got a couple of tough games. Miami plays on Tuesday against Toronto. Brooklyn just beat Miami, and Brooklyn plays Wednesday, I want to say. Yes, Brooklyn got a Houston game Wednesday. So Miami's got it a little tough. They got to play Toronto Tuesday night, and then I believe they have another tough game on Friday. Let me just see here. Where's the Heat? Where's the Heat? I don't see them. I don't know what's going on. But they play Dallas next Saturday. They play Dallas. So they got a couple of days off. They play Dallas. They play Toronto, then they play Dallas. Both Dallas and Toronto are fighting for their playoff lives right now. We're in very good position with Dallas. I think y'all know. So Dallas would be the 11th pick. If they ended today, they'd be the 11th pick. The Knicks have their pick. Thank you, Steve Mills. Thank you, Steve Mills. Say thank you. Thank you, Steve Mills. So anyway, the Knicks are in a great position right now. 5th seed in the East, playing Houston tomorrow night. Houston is a good team for the Knicks to get right with. They could get right with Houston. I don't know what Brunson's situation is. Matter of fact, let me just check the injury thing right now and see. I don't know what Brunson is looking like right now. What is this? They're very, as usual. The Knicks have always been very mum on injuries. This goes back 40 years. They've always been like that. Very quiet about injuries. So we don't know what it is. They got him listed as day-to-day right now. We'll see what happens. But RJ's present is growth as a young player, not superstar, not finished product. I hate when people say RJ will never be this, or he'll never win with RJ. That's not correct. RJ is still developing. Okay. Yes, he's 22, and it is an excuse. He's still a young boy developing and learning the NBA game. Okay. He's still 22 years old. He's going to be fine. Right. He's not going to be a superstar. No, but can he be a solid star? Can he be a rotational piece? Can he be a star? Yes, he can. Because anybody that could drop 40 on you and win a game, I say that's a star. In the NBA, in the league, yeah. Okay, and he could do that. Okay, he can. So let's let him grow. This playoffs is going to be a really good development tool for RJ, particularly for him. It's not going to help Julius too much. Julius pretty much is what he is right now, which is really good. I just hope it helps his mental. But RJ, this is another step in his growth process, which brings me to Grimes. When I went to the game the other day, I've been watching Grimes since he was at University of Houston. Okay, I didn't see him at Kansas, but I have liked him since University of Houston. Rebounding, 2-guard, really good first step, really nice jump shot, really good defense. He's been that way. And he has grown. I saw a video the other day where they looked at the summer league. He played in this past summer league and had 22 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. And I thought to myself, man, that was summer league. Now he's just doing that in the regular league, 25 points, rebounds, assists, defense. He's doing the same thing. Okay. We got something with Quentin Grimes. We got something with him. I'm telling you. And he play makes on a very high level. His catch and go base, his catch and go with the basketball is amazing. He has the ability to find the loose balls and bust it up the court and start a break really fast. Quentin Grimes is something else. I do not want anybody to take his spot. And this is where the RJ question comes in. That's why I said the Knicks got decisions to make this summer. They really do. Because what are you going to do? I'm going to tell you right now, they're not trading Quentin Grimes. They didn't trade him for Mitchell, and they're not going to trade him this summer. You know why? Why? Well, now everything I just named, he's a tremendous talent, but also he's on his rookie deal. Okay, he's on his rookie deal. RJ's on a $100 million deal. RJ's contract can be traded in a sign and trade for, Grant, KP, McCall. RJ's contract can be traded. Nobody, especially the Don, if you know anything about the Don, he ain't trading no rookie contract. That's a rookie contract and a starter. What he trade him for? He's not doing that. So Grimes is kind of set in stone more than RJ, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think? I think Grimes is more solid. The Knicks are higher on Quentin Grimes than they are on RJ Barrett. And they're higher on RJ Barrett, but they're higher on Quentin Grimes. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something else about Mr. Grimes. In the present, right now, him and Deuce McBride are your two best perimeter defenders on the New York Knicks right now. Okay? Him and Quentin Grimes, Deuce and Quentin Grimes are your best perimeter defenders on the New York Knicks. Period. End of story. Okay? And I've always been saying, if you play them together with Mitchell Robinson, your defense will go up a notch. And that's what happened when they first went on a 9-game winning streak. And then you started seeing it at the net. I mean, the 8-game winning streak. You seen it at the end of the 9-game winning streak. When Deuce's shot started falling, all of a sudden the Knicks were trouble. See? So, and I think that was one of the mistakes I would have to say. And y'all know I'm a big Tom Thibodeau advocate. Y'all know it. Like, I did videos where I say I got his back. So some of y'all start tripping to my fire him. I never said that. But I think he made a mistake in only playing Deuce McBride 6 minutes against Orlando. I think if he played Deuce the 20 minutes he should have played him, we might have won that ball game. Okay, that was the difference in that game, I think, because they were hitting a lot of 3-pointers in the fourth quarter that I don't think they would have got if Deuce was out there. Okay, so that's just me. That's what I think. So with that being said, those two guys are your defense, on the perimeter. You're never going to get that level of defense from Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's in the game because he's got a genius basketball IQ, because he's got elite master level footwork, and because he is that dude at the end of a game that will score for you when you need a basket. Defensively, he is a liability, and he's always going to be a liability. That's just how it is. Okay. But so we'll deal with that. We'll live with that. But we need other guys around him that could play high-level defense. So, and Deuce is now starting to get confident in his offensive game, which I always thought he had. He just needs the consistent minutes. But they're not trading those guys. Why? They're on rookie deals. They're going to help you win. You're not trading those guys, okay? So RJ would be a bigger candidate to be traded than Grimes. Because if you just look at the contracts, Grimes is on his rookie deal, the end of a first-round contract. RJ is on a $100 million deal, and you're trying to get that next player to get you to the next level. RJ's contract is more tradable. Now, talk about trades. Let's talk about Obi Toppin. Right now, Obi's getting about 12 minutes a game. It's a crime, okay? But what are you going to do? There's only 48 minutes at the power forward spot. Julius Randle gets 36 minutes. Is what it is. Okay. So if they're not going to trade Julius Randle, and we talked about this, I don't think they're going to, then Obi is going to have to go to another team. He's a starter playing 12 minutes a game. That's what I see with Obi Toppin. He's a starter level player that's only getting 12 minutes a game. He cannot get off. He cannot show what he's got. He cannot be the blossom that can come into his own in the NBA with 12 minutes a game. It's not going to happen. But if you start him and you give him 25, 35 minutes a game, you're going to see an all-star level player. That's the dilemma the Knicks have. Now, will they trade Julius Randle and give Obi that? I don't know. It looks like Obi's the odd man out. And the reason is because of the upside that he has, of the talent level that he has. Okay. It's tough. It's a tough situation. Okay. If they traded Randle, then Obi could start. He couldn't. But I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they are. So then Obi has to be traded. So what are you going to get for Obi? That's where you're looking at a player that you can get that's going to bring you to the next level. You could use Obi as part of that package. He's on a rookie deal. He's eligible for an extension, which he probably won't get to the summer of 2024. And he's got to prove himself. It's a great situation for him to be in to prove himself. Okay. What can you get for Randle? I don't know. You'd have to match salaries, right? So because Randle's like in the $28 million range. So you'd have to get somebody in 20% of that range. You have to get somebody in that 24 to 32 range of salary for Randle. So I don't know what you get. The Don ain't giving him away. He's NBA. He's definitely all-star. I think he should be all NBA, even with the head case problems. But Obi is the guy that probably will go. Cherokee Indian, I think how Randle acts in this year's playoff determines if they keep or trade Obi this summer. I hear you, and thanks for the $5. I hear you, but you got to remember, if Randle messes, if he becomes a disaster in the playoffs, nobody's going to want him. He won't have the value. If he plays decently in the playoffs, and I mean decently, he's not the star. Maybe he carries him to a win in the playoff game, and then he's just kind of in there. And then you get Brunson, and you get the other guys, and you get Grimes, and I think Grimes is going to show out in the playoffs. But if you get that, then you could trade him. But if he falls on his face in the playoffs and starts acting stupid, nobody's going to want him. Okay, so it's going to be hard to trade him and get equal value. Okay. Nah, Trey McGriff, that's not true. You see, some of y'all, first of all, will y'all stop acting like this is high school? This ain't high school. This the league. This ain't college. This is the league. Okay? Randle plays 36 minutes a game. He's indestructible. That's him. So if you're going to keep him, you're only going to have 12 minutes at the power forward. Then what you going to do? Sit Grimes so Obi can play? They don't do that. Come on. This is the league, man. Shoot. He has no faith. He has faith in him, faith enough for him to play 12 minutes. Anyway, Obi's going to have to go and get somewhere he can get 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes a game. I think if I'm Washington, I'm talking to the Knicks about Obi Toppin. I'm not paying Kyle Kuzma all that money. I'm just not doing it. If I'm Washington, I'm rebuilding. I'm trying to see what I can get for Bradley Beal. I'm letting KP see what I can get for him, and I'm seeing what I could get for Kyle Kuzma or let him walk. And I'm going to try to talk to the Knicks about Obi Toppin. Okay? Yeah, he is self-destructive mentally. Or he can be, but it's not every game. It does blow up sometimes. But you know what? For people acting like this happens like every week, it doesn't happen every week. I think it's happened like, this is like the second or third time the whole year has happened. I mean, the boy got mental problems, no question. But let's not act like it's a continual thing. Some people, that's what I'm saying. People start tripping, man. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Julius Randle is not Antetokounmpo. Yeah, lately, just last week. Yeah, but let's, come on. I'm still saying the Knicks are a juggernaut. What? Because they lost 3 in a row, that changes that? See, that's what I'm problem. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at a short-term situation and you're acting like it's a long-term problem. Stop it. Please try to expand your mind a little bit. Okay? Class last week. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Stoop Kids asked me a question. Would I trade Randle for Porzingis? Y'all ain't gonna like my answer. Yes. I would. I would trade Randle straight up for KP. I would do it. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But I would do it. Realistically, it ain't gonna happen. I would do it though. And it ain't got nothing to do with last week. I would put KP at that 4th spot. Obi would get more minutes because now KP ain't playing no 36 minutes a game. So now you got Obi playing and KP getting 20-something minutes a game. I think we'd be a better team. And you have no head case problems. I think we'd be a better team. Okay, that's just me. I don't think they're going to do that. If realistically, the Knicks ain't going to do that. I would do it, though. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would sign Obi 3 years, 63 years. Let's see. Give me Obi for 3 years, $48 million. Or 4 years, $48 million, something like that. 3rd-year team option. Or 4 years, $52 million. Sign him there. Trade Randle for KP. Money's the same. You don't lose any cap space. Boom, done. I would do that in a second. No doubt. I would. But that's just me. Some of y'all going to think I'm crazy. I hope Gumby ain't around because Gumby going to start tripping if I say that. Gumby gonna start tripping. He ain't gonna like that answer. That's my man Gumby, but he ain't gonna like that answer. I would tell you right now, though. I would do that yesterday. I ain't fronting. I would do it yesterday. I'll take 60 games a year of KP balanced with Obi Toppin. Because you know what? Let's say KP's gonna play 65 games this year. So if we could get 60 out of him, and then Obi can start the other 22 games, and then they could play 24 minutes apiece. Man, I'm all in. I'm doing that. Yesterday. I'm doing that. But see, that's just me. I know, like I said, my man Gumby ain't going to like it. And realistically, the Knicks ain't going to do that. So that Grimes is a future all-star, in my opinion. and he ain't somebody you trade. He's, to me, unless you're getting Kawhi Leonard, unless you're getting Antetokounmpo, unless you're getting who else? Give me another superstar. Unless you're getting I don't know, Joker. Unless you're getting a guy like that, I am then Grimes is untouchable. I'm not trading him. Okay, you got to give me something. You got to give me Tatum. Give me Tatum, and we can include Grimes in the package. Otherwise, Grimes is off limits. Not touching. I'm not trading him for no daggone Jeremy Grant, Mikal Bridges, KP. No, I'm keeping Grimes. Okay, I'm not trading him for Anthony Edwards, and I think Anthony Edwards could be a superstar. That's how high I am on Grimes. I am not, because you know what? I could put Grimes on Anthony Edwards. I said, Grimes. No, and I'm not trading him for Embiid either. I'm not doing it. Embiid is a superstar, but at 50 million, and is he hurt right now? I think he's hurt, isn't he? He's hurt right now, is he not? I think Embiid, where is he? I think Embiid hurt. No, he's not hurt right now, but I don't trust this cat. I don't trust his health. I just don't trust his health. Embiid's a superstar talent. He can carry you to the promised land. I believe it. But daggone 50 million? Shoot. I don't know. So Grimes is off limits. He's off limits. That's my future all-star right there. But for a superstar, like I said, there's certain players. If I could get Kawhi Leonard, if I could get Giannis, if I could get the Joker, if I could get Tatum, if I could get one of those dudes, I may have to give up my Grimes. I have to do it. Okay. But other than that, and Embiid is iffy. Okay. I actually, and y'all know I'm Mitch Rob high. I'll trade Mitch Rob for Embiid with other package, whatever, before I'm trading Grimes. Grimes is off limits. I'm keeping Grimes. I'll trade Mitch Rob, and I love Mitch Rob. I love Mitch Rob to death. Mitch Rob, to me, is the future of the Knicks. He's the anchor of the defense. But if you're telling me I can get Joel Embiid for Mitch Rob with whatever package, I'll trade RJ and Mitch Rob to get Embiid. I'll do it, but I'm not trading Grimes. I don't care. I'll take 60 games of Kawhi in the playoffs and we can win a chip. That's how high I'm thinking of Kawhi Leonard. I'll take 60 games of Kawhi Leonard and a full playoff run and we can win a chip. Okay. I'll what do you call that? I'll manage his minutes until he's that good to me. Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. Okay. All NBA defense, been MVP in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard's been an MVP in the playoffs for the San Antonio Spurs, been MVP in the playoffs for the Toronto Raptors. Kawhi is that dude. He's one of the rare ones. I'll give them Grimes for him. Yes, I would do it. Okay. But yeah, nobody giving up a superstar unless a superstar wants to leave. Right? Well, this is the thing, Blair. You're right. Blair is right. But let me ask you this, Blair. What is Embiid thinking if they lose in the first round? If they lose in the first round this year, what happens? I mean, it's unlikely, but I'm just saying. Let's say they play Brooklyn in the first round. If they had to go right now, if we're looking at the standings right now, right? The Philly would be playing Brooklyn. I'd give Brooklyn a shot to beat them. I ain't going from Brooklyn. Look, if y'all think Miami is real, then Brooklyn is real. Brooklyn is just as real as Miami or New York. Okay, just as real. So if Brooklyn upsets, and that would be an upset now, if they upset Philly in the first round, what you think? I think Embiid might want to change his scenery. I think a whole bunch of teams are going to be talking to Philly at that point. And I think we got a good package if you were including RJ and Mitchell Robinson in the package. I think we got a good package. Now you'd have to come up to about 40 million to be able to match that. So you're talking about Fournier, probably RJ and Mitchell Robinson plus some number ones, right? We'll do that. Give me Mr. Embiid. I'm keeping Grimes. I'm keeping Obi Toppin. Let's go. Because I'll be honest, I like Obi better than what's the guy, the Long Island guy, than Harris. I like Obi better than Harris. And Harris is very polished, very professional, very accomplished. I'll take Obi. Okay, I'll take Obi. Thank you, Mr. Obi. You stay with us. We'll send you RJ. We'll send you Mitch Rob. We'll send you Fournier. 3 number ones. Have fun. We go Knicks. Okay. I'll take Mr. Joel Embiid in that situation. Okay. I will do it. Okay. So, yeah. I will do that. And let me tell you something else. Randle ain't jumping in Embiid's face. Randle ain't going to jump in Joel Embiid's face. If Joel Embiid say sit down, he should run over to that bench quick. You hear what I'm saying? He ain't jumping in Embiid's face. Yeah, he ain't jumping in Embiid's face. Embiid will kick his behind, man. That's what I'm saying. That African ain't going to have it. That's all I'm saying. That African ain't having it. He be done beat your behind in front of your little boy and your girl. And that was the thing, though, that bothered me the most about Thursday. I was actually very happy with what happened, without them losing. But what I saw from Quentin Grimes gave me a glimpse into the future. And people were asking me after the game, but I was like, I wasn't that sad. I said, I like them to win, but I like what I saw with Grimes. But with Julius, you remember last year, he's like, I don't know why they're treating me like that. My son was there. Your son was 2 rows behind me watching you act the fool Thursday night. He was 2 rows behind me, the little boy. And his wife was there. Okay? To me, that's the worst thing. You got to act better for your children's sake. If you're a father, right? You don't want to act like that in front of your child. Okay, so speaking of IQ, okay, let's talk about Mr. Quick. First of all, I've been telling y'all, I believe Emmanuel Quickley should have gotten the keys this season. Okay, Emmanuel Quickley should have gotten the keys this season. They went out and got Brunson. Okay, there's a family thing, there's a Thibs thing, there's a Don thing. They all love the Brunsons. Okay, cool. I wasn't with it at first, but I understand. But I thought Quick should have got those keys because I felt like Quick would be able to get us just as quick, no pun intended, as Grimes to the next level. Okay. So now you got a guy in Cape Verde. All right. Marcus Graham from Cape Verde. Like that, brother. Okay. So you got a guy in IQ, and I'm watching Miami last night. They start Gabe Vincent, and they have, they're paying a lot of money, $30 million for this dude to come off the bench past his prime. They're paying a lot of money for this guy, Kyle Lowry, to come off the bench. They could start IQ and they would be really good. See, so they could start IQ and they'll be really good. So could Washington. There's several teams. So could Minnesota. They can start. So could Dallas. There's a lot of teams. If Atlanta's going to trade Young, IQ would be perfect. IQ can play in front of Dinwiddie in Brooklyn. This is real. Okay? There's only a few teams he couldn't be really the starter. He wouldn't be the starter in Oklahoma City, right? Because you got SGA. But I'm saying he really could start for all of these teams I just named. He could start for Dallas. He could start for Miami. He could start for Atlanta. He could start for Brooklyn. He could start for Washington. Quick could start for any of those teams. Okay? He could start. Minnesota, he could start. So with this antics of Randle and Quick trying to be mature and calm this grown behind man down, I wouldn't be surprised if Quick looks at his options, tells his reps, let's see what we can get. If somebody offers him $100 million, I think he's gone. Okay? I think he's gone. If he gets the money, if the Knicks offer him, I don't think Dallas is going to keep Kyrie past this summer. I don't think they're going to. Let me ask you, you're paying Kyrie and you're paying Luka, and you're not in the play. You're not in the play-in right now. You're not in the play-in. You're in the 11th seed right now. You got Kyrie and you got Luka, and you're not in the play-in. Are you hearing me? You're not in the play-in right now. See, so I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they keep him past this summer. I don't think so. I'd rather have Emmanuel Quickley. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen. Kyrie is too mercurial as far as that. If I'm an owner, I don't trust that he's going to be here. I'm going to see what I can do to get if he can get me in the playoffs. But they're in the 11th seed right now. They're battling for the play-in. They're battling with Oklahoma City, Dallas is, for the play-in spot. They're actually tied with Oklahoma City for the 10th spot right now. So they're battling in the last 7 games for the play-in. I don't know. Dallas can take IQ and start him in place and pay half what they're paying Kyrie. This is business, y'all. Okay, this is business. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If I'm IQ, the Knicks would probably be right to offer him an $80 million contract, a 4-year, $80 million with a player option at the 4th season, because he's going to be that good. I would do that, but I don't know if you're going to be able to keep him. Right now, as it stands, I've seen this kid, man. He's developed. His game is developed. He's become, like I said, he's a prober. He probes the defense. He looks for the openings. He was looking for Grimes. And I heard somebody talk about they were freezing out Grimes. That's stupid. They weren't freezing Grimes. First of all, Grimes was guarding both Franz Wagner at times, as well as Markelle Fultz, the 2 toughest covers on the Orlando Magic. He was guarding both of them. And then sometimes he was even guarding them by himself because RJ would lose his way. But on top of that, he was shooting the lights out. So he's tired. Then on top of that, you got to remember, Orlando's got a smart coach. He made an adjustment to shade toward Grimes so that he couldn't get the basketball. Okay? So that was not the Knicks not catching them. It was Orlando making adjustments. That's the way it do in the league. Okay? But IQ was looking for him. IQ was looking for him. Okay, and trying to get him and probing and trying to get, and then of course IQ has his own shot on top of that, and IQ plays defense on top of that. So we want to keep him, and he's going to be very valuable in these last, 7 games. Very valuable. IQ is going to be. Hey, Russell Reed, Craig, you can say that, but you're not the market. If you're talking about starting point guard in the NBA, look it up. Starting point guards in the NBA are above $20 million a year. Okay, starting point guards in the NBA are above $20 million a year. Okay, that's how it is. Period. Kyle Lowry was the starter in Miami. He's getting $30 million. Okay, that's it. Washington needs a point guard. They were trying to start Monte, and it's not working out. Dinwiddie's he's not a starter either, the bench guy. That's what I'm talking about. You're looking at teams with bench guys starting. Then you had D'Lo in Minnesota before they traded him to the Lakers. D'Lo's $25 million. So the Knicks are paying Bunsen $25 million. You're going to have to pay the money, okay, to a point guard, a real starting point guard. Dinwiddie's really a bench piece, and the guy that they got starting in Washington's a bench piece. And then Kyle Lowry's finished. They're starting a bench piece and Gabe Vincent in front of Kyle Lowry because he don't have that no more. And they pay him $30 million. So the Knicks can offer him, I'm thinking $72 million. They can do $72 million. They could do $72 million. I'm thinking that. I don't know if he'll take it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. My point to y'all is I don't know what's going to happen with IQ. I want to tell you this, though, solidly, seriously, IQ holds all the cards. Emmanuel quickly holds the cards right now. As far as his Knicks future, he holds the cards. Okay? Period, end of story. So what does he want is what we're going to see. Maxi's on his rookie deal. Maxi and IQ came out at the same time. And you best believe they're going to pay Tyrese Maxey this year. They're going to pay him because that's why do you think it's not just that Harden likes Houston. I'm not saying he doesn't, but they're going to pay Tyrese Maxey this summer. They're going to pay him, and they need to. Okay. They're going to pay him. So IQ is going to get his money. The question is, does he want to stay with New York? He holds all the cards. IQ does, not the Knicks. Emmanuel quickly holds the cards. It's not like you say, well, we need to keep him. We need to keep him and make him play on the bench. You can't make him do nothing. You can just hope he accepts the role. You understand? IQ holds the cards. Yeah. So IQ holds the cards. So I don't know what's going to happen this summer. Yes. And I think, Margaret, you're right. I think Miss Edwards is right when she says this act with Randle might affect IQ's decision. It might. IQ's a very mature young man. He is. Y'all seen him. He's a very mature young man. So I don't know what he's going to think. I don't know if that will cause the Knicks to make a Randle move, because you know that IQ and Obi are like best friends on the Knicks, right? I mean, IQ and Obi are like this on the Knicks. So I don't know. That's going to be another interesting decision for the summer. But for right now, the way the Knicks are right now, they're going to go into the playoffs with this squad, and IQ is going to be a very important piece in the playoffs. I think that's right. I'm really high on our Knicks in the playoff because I think Grimes is going to show out. I'm looking to see what RJ does, and I think IQ is going to do his thing. And of course, we got Jalen Brunson. I like what we look like for the playoffs. Okay, no, this is not the championship window, but I think they could win the first round. I think they can. That would be great. Just getting in the 5th seed is a huge jump forward for me for the Knicks in the year 3 of the rebuild. To get to the 5th seed, you got to give Tom Thibodeau his props. They doing good, man. Okay, but if they happen to beat Cleveland in the first round, oh, it's gonna go crazy at MSG. It's gonna go crazy on Fashion Avenue. It's gonna go crazy down there. Y'all know it. It's gonna be nuts. Okay, but I don't know what's going to happen with Emmanuel Quickly. He holds the cards right now. It's not in the Knicks' hands. They can offer him what they can offer him. They're not going to start him because they're starting Jalen Brunson. They're committed to Jalen Brunson. And so, and they got Deuce McBride if IQ wants to leave. So the door is open for IQ to get paid and go to another team. I don't know, if I'm him, I'm looking at Miami very hard. If I'm Emmanuel Quickly, I mean, what would you do? You're Emmanuel Quickly. You're coming off the bench for the New York Knicks. You like your situation, but Miami's offering you $20+ million a year, maybe $100 million deal, and you can start. And you already play Eric Spoelstra level defense. Okay, and you're starting next to Tyler Hero, and you got Bam Adebayo. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about that. Or Dallas lets Kyrie walk, and they're looking for a running mate with Duka in Dallas. And they're willing to pay you. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. See, IQ, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know. We're going to see. But Obi Toppin, again, he's a starter level dude playing 12 minutes a game. There's nothing we can do about that unless they trade Randle. And Jimmy Butler, that's right. I didn't even think of that. They got Jimmy Butler. They got Bam Adebayo. They have Tyler Hero, and they would have a starter level point guard in Emmanuel Quickly with Gabe Vincent coming off the bench. Man, they'd be really good, man. They'd be really good, and everybody plays defense for that for Spo. Okay, so yeah. So I think that would be a tremendous thing if I'm IQ. So that's what I'm saying. He holds the cards, not the Knicks. Don't think the Knicks are in control of this. They're not. And if you say, well, they lost IQ, they didn't lose IQ. IQ decided to leave because he holds the cards. Okay? He holds the cards. So they got to decide. The Knicks, they don't have to extend him until like next summer if they want to. They can wait. They can't though, because then he'll definitely leave. And then you could extend him and pay him in the fall, right, have that contract signed by October. But like I said, if they get the inkling that he wants to start, then that means they're going to have to trade him this summer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't. Come on. Realistically, you're getting your IQ. You're getting what, $6 million right now? Your next contract will be in you if you're a starter between 20 and 25 million, and you can beat the starter. You're telling me you're going to stay with New York? Okay. I hope he does. I'm not saying he won't. I hope he does. But I just can't see that happen. I just can't see it happen. I'll be surprised if he stays with the Knicks through the summer. I'll be surprised because he's just too good. The Knicks did such a good job drafting. You're talking about Obi, who's a starter. You're talking about IQ, who's a starter. You're talking about Deuce, who can be all NBA defense. These are draft picks of the Knicks. We're talking about Grimes, who's a future all-star. These are draft picks of the New York Knicks. Okay? I hear you, Gumby. You're right. He would start in San Antonio. He would. And that's a great system to play with Pop. But Spurs are not a contender right now. Okay. I'm trying to be real, jabroni. I like to be positive. I think I'm one of the most positive content creators out here. But I got to be real at the same time. I can't see why he would stay. But San Antonio's not a contender right now. I mean, if they, I don't know. They're going to be in the lottery. If I could, but if you, what are you talking to me? Talk to me. Do you want to go to a title contender? You can make Miami a title contender, or you can go to Spurs and be part of the rebuild. What are you doing? You can go to San Antonio and be part of the rebuild, or you can be the championship piece that Miami's missing. What are you doing? See, that's what I'm saying. Think like that. What do you think, Gumby? That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Gumby. I appreciate that. Gumby was really on board when I became part of his Randle hire. He really was on board then, huh? I hate you. Well, let's wait, jabroni. Let's see what happens this summer. Like I said, I think we just need to understand as fans, IQ holds the cards here. It's not the Knicks. It's not the Don. The Don's decision is based on what he sees IQ wants. If he thinks IQ wants to start, he's going to start shopping and get what he can for him. Okay. If he thinks IQ will accept 72 million, 80 million as coming off the bench, which is probably what he should get paid, then he's going to sign him. And that'll be that. Okay. But what IQ does is going to affect what happens to Obi Toppin, and it may affect what happens to Randle. So I don't know. This summer is going to be very interesting. And the playoffs are going to tell you a lot. Okay. The playoffs are going to tell you a lot. Mitchell Robinson. Let's talk about Mitch Rob. Mitch Rob is the anchor of the Knicks defense. He's the anchor of Tom Thibodeau's defense. He doesn't need to score a lot of points, but he does need to touch the basketball. He is elite in terms of offensive rebound. He is elite. There's just no two ways about it. He is top 3 in the NBA, in my view, as an offensive rebounder. Okay. And in terms of being able to call out a defense, in terms of being in the right place, he is tremendous. Does he need to develop some more? Yes, he does. He's not a finished product. Okay. But he's got the talent to become a finished product. That's what's excited about Mitchell Robinson. He's got the talent. He can hit his free throws eventually. He'll be able to keep the ball above his head once he gets the rebound. He's going to do all that. But for right now, what we got is a guy that's not in his prime, not finished developing, and can still help us in the playoffs right now. Okay, right now. So this is going to be also an experience for Mitchell Robinson. And I love that he came out, apologized for the tweet, and then said, I need to really focus on getting this defense back on par. I love that. And the Knicks should be happy about that. And we should all be happy about that. So I'm good with Mitch Rob. So I think right now he can help us win a first round series. It's going to be tough with him against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley because he's got to play 2 against 1. I'm going to need another dude to step up. That's where Julius becomes very important. He's got to step up and guard Mobley. He's got to be able to do that. Okay. You don't want to have Grimes on a 6'11" Mobley if so I don't know. But Mitch Rob, we're good with him. We're good with Mitch Rob. Josh Hart is in his prime. He's 28 years old. He is in his prime, and he's playing the exact position he needs to play. He's not a starter. Okay, he's not. But he's a bench piece, a rotation piece, a championship rotation piece in his prime. He's already set. I don't want to pay him more than $14 million a year this offseason. Yes, he's going to opt out of his $13 million deal, which has got one more season left on it. I would give him 3 years, $42 million, or the 4 years, $56 million, and let's go on with life. That's what I would do with him. He's not worth more than that as the bench piece that he is. He's in his prime. You got to remember, he's at his ceiling. I was looking at Cam Johnson yesterday. Cam Johnson for the Nets is 27 years old. He's in his prime. He's not going to get any better, but he's pretty darn good right now. See, so I wouldn't trade RJ for Cam Johnson, but I would kind of let Hart go for him if I needed, because Cam Johnson can play. Okay. But I don't think the Nets are letting him go either. He's a starter. So I don't think he's letting him go. But Josh Hart It's going to be good for the Knicks. Good, him and Jalen Brunson fit together. They're going, and he's going to be big for us in the playoffs. Again, I love this roster for the playoffs. What a lot of people don't understand is Tom Thibodeau is a playoff coach. Every time he's coaching, he's thinking playoff. He coaches for the playoff. He's a grind type dude. He's a half court, grind it out, get in your face type dude. And he's coaching for the playoffs. I like our team for the playoffs. I love them. Speaking of that, only mistake I mentioned before, and I'll mention again, he needs to get Deuce McBride in this rotation for 15 to 20 minutes per game. If he does that, the Knicks chance, somebody did a nice statistical breakdown that the Knicks win 77% of their games when Deuce plays 15 minutes or more. 77% of their games when Deuce plays 15 minutes or more. I would look for minutes to, play this kid more. Okay, you got to get him some more so that we'll get some W's. Because at the end of the day, we're looking to win. Right now, Deuce is behind JB and behind IQ, but I think that's going to change next year. Like I said, I can't see them keeping IQ unless he's willing to take that lesser role. I don't know if he's going to do that. Cherokee Indian, thanks for the $5. Just found out Hart is related to Elston Howard. Yes, he is. First back catching year. Yes, he's a distant relative of Elston Howard. Yes, he is. They mentioned that around the All-Star break. I remember Clyde and Mike Broom talking about that. Yes, he's related to them. What are they going to do with the Mavericks pick? It depends on where the pick falls and what they're looking for. I would love to get Chris Murray. That's my guy. I'd like to get Chris Murray. I'd like to get Taylor Hendricks. Those are the two guys I mentioned last month. Even y'all remember last month I talked about Taylor Hendricks. I talked about Chris Murray. I like the kid from the small forward that can shoot the lights out from Gonzaga, Swather, I think his name is. I like all three of those guys. Okay. But really, what y'all got to understand is whatever you're picking this year is not for next season. It's for the future. So that's why I like Hendricks, because Hendricks is going to be that guy that needs G League time, but he's going to be an NBA player. Yeah, I love Chris Murray, but Chris Murray will be an Obi's type of spot. So you get a Chris Murray if you're trading Randle. You get Chris Murray if you're trading Randle and you're starting Obi. That's how you get a Chris Murray for that. You get a Hendricks if you're going to put him in the G League and let him develop, because he's got 2 years of development that you need from him. He's not a starter. He's not even a rotational player right now in the NBA, to me, Taylor Hendricks. But he can be a really good player in 2 seasons. So you put him in the NBA G League and you let him develop there, and then you bring him up in 2 years. That's what I'm thinking. So I would really go for one of those two with the Dallas pick if I could get him. That's what I would do. Yes, Mitch needs to work on some things. There's no doubt. Like I said, he's not a finished product, but he's good enough to help us win the first round right now. I am not trading Grimes unless I get a Luka, and the Dallas is not giving us Luka, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't like to talk about fantasy basketball, honestly. That's fantasy. Dallas is not giving up Luka. He's going to stay in Dallas. They're going to let Kyrie walk. Luka is king in Dallas. You know how Dwayne Wade was king in Miami. They call it Wade County. Well, that's Luka in Dallas right now. And so he ain't going nowhere. No, they're not going to. No. They wouldn't be replacing Obi with Chris Murray. No. Well, y'all got to understand, these are college players, man. They ain't replacing no NBA league, dude. Come on, man. Unless they're a superstar. Chris Murray ain't no superstar. So, no, he ain't replacing Obi. No. He almost Obi's age. He'll be 23 going on 24 when he get drafted. Obi's already here. No. He's not replacing Obi. He might be unhappy, but let's not buy into that as if they're trading him. Come on, man. A lot of dudes unhappy. Randle was unhappy the other night. A lot of dudes unhappy. It's going to be all right. Yeah, but it's going to take, to answer your question, Gumby, it would take a lot more than that to get Luka Doncic. It would take a lot more than that to get Luka. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a possibility. Yeah, I'm thinking Cherokee Indian for next season. I don't think he's going to do it this season. Thibs don't make off-the-cuff moves like that. He's going to stick with the 9-man rotation unless Brunson is out. So Next season, though, it's a different story. We got to see what happens. If IQ decides to leave, then I can see Deuce moving up into that rotation and still be a 9-man rotation. But I still think they should go 10 men. Let's see what happens next season. One thing is going to be clear after this season. Who's ever in the rotation now, if they stay with the Knicks, are going to be in the rotation next summer, next season. I don't think everybody that's in the rotation now will be there next summer. That's what will change. But everybody that's left, so let's say Obi leaves, then Obi's spot in the rotation gets taken by somebody. But everybody else, if Randle is here, if RJ is here, if Grimes is here, IQ, everybody will stay in the rotation if they're in the rotation now. But if somebody from the rotation like IQ decides to leave, now you're going to move Deuce up into the rotation. Okay, and you'll move Deuce up into rotation. So yeah, there is a way to keep IQ and Obi, but I don't think it's going to happen. That is to trade Randle. If you trade Randle, you keep IQ and Obi. You follow? Yeah, if you trade Randle, you're going to keep both of those guys. If you keep Randle, you're going to lose IQ in my view. You might lose both of them. You're right. You might lose both of them. Trade McGregor. But it's going to be a different. I don't want to predict what's going to happen because I don't know. And anything could happen. Anything could happen, right now. We don't know. Anything could happen. Okay, so we will see. No, you're not going to get a 12-man rotation. That's fantasy. Thibs ain't doing that. You might get a 10, but you're not getting a 12. I don't know what Randle's trade value is. I really don't. It depends on who wants him. Okay, you got to think about teams that want Randle. Miami would want him. They don't have a real full. They have Kevin Love. All behind Kevin Love is starting at the 4 for the Miami. They would take Randle. But, what would we get from Miami for Randle? I don't know. I really don't know. They're not giving up Bam. Charlotte can use Randle. Yep. Charlotte can use it. And they're not giving up LaMelo Ball. So I don't know what we could get for Randle. I don't know. I think we'll get picked, maybe, but I don't even know that because, I don't know. I have no idea. Randle's value is very mysterious. He's got talent to demand first-round picks, but his head case problems can cause them to have to give up picks. So I don't know. And then what you're going to get for him, maybe Portland takes him for Jeremy Grant. I don't know. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. Maybe I can't see Washington doing it for KP because if Washington lets KP and Kuzma go, they're going to go younger. The Clippers. Okay. Who is the Clippers trading for us to send them Randle? Who on their team are we taking? I don't know. Glenn. Who they're not going to trade Kawhi Leonard unless Kawhi Leonard wants to leave or unless PG-13 says he's leaving. Then you might get something like that. You might get PG-13. I don't want Powell for Randle. No. Powell's 6'3". He plays out of position, and we got enough guys doing that right now. Right? I mean, Grimes is 6'5", and he can play the 2 or 3, but Powell is 6'3". I can see Philly's a possibility. I don't know, though. If they lose in the first round, I don't want Harris. Some people talking about Harris. No, I don't want Harris. I'm not paying $80 million for a guy. He's a solid pro, but he ain't no star. No, I don't want Harris. But if you're telling me Embiid is leaving and they're willing to take Julius with now listen, I don't want Harris. Forget Harris. No. But if you tell me Randle and Mitch Robb would y'all do this? Would y'all do Randle and Mitch Robb for Embiid? Talk to me. Would you do Randle and Mitch Robb for Embiid? Would y'all do that? Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson for Joel Embiid. 2 yeses? Okay. And if Gumby says it, Gumby, if you said it, man, and you Randle Hive, I know it's got to be something. So yeah. So okay, I'm with that too. I would do that because then you're gonna get Embiid Yeah, his health is an issue, but you're keeping Obi Toppin. That saves you the money you're gonna have to pay for Embiid. You're keeping Obi Toppin. Yeah, I would do it. I would do Randle and Mitchell Robinson. So you're talking about a 40 million for a 50 million guy, and you're matching pretty much. So I would do that. He is kind of injury prone. I agree with you, Margaret. But if again, my test is, can I get 60 games out of him? If I can get 60 games out of him in playoffs, he can take me to the finals. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Evans? So if I can get 60 games out of him in finals, he could take me to the final. I mean, in playoffs, he could take me to the finals. So I will definitely consider that. If he's like 50 games, I don't know. That's kind of tough, right? If he's like Ben Simmons, no, we don't want that, right? But yeah, I see. So I would take that risk though. If Philly loses in the first round and MB wants to leave, I would offer them Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle for Joel Embiid. I would do that. I would do it. I would do that if they lose in the first round, and I'd make that offer though. Yeah, it does. David Johnson, it does because you'll have Obi reaching his prime. You'll still have RJ. You'll still have Grimes. You have a nice squad, man. You still have a nice team, man. And now you move. You're going to have Jericho playing. You're going to have that'll make us not. You have Embiid in the middle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a nice team. So let's see if they lose in the first round. That's right. I'm really pulling for Brooklyn. I ain't fronting. I'm pulling for Brooklyn to do a first round upset of Philly because that will open up everything for Philly. Because now Embiid, they're gonna be, and the fans in Philly, if there's any fans that could get worse than Knicks fans, it's Philly fans. And they will be screaming for Embiid to be traded. And that would be stupid. And if Embiid wants to come to New York, come on. Yeah, come on. Well, I think Embiid would be that. You're talking about Obi going into age 25 season. You're talking about RJ going to age 23 season. Grimes in his third season, 23. You're still going to have IQ. You're still going to have Deuce. You're still going to have Hart. You bring in Joel Embiid. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think so. Yeah. So, that I would do that deal. Embiid for Obi Toppin and Mitchell Robinson. I would do that deal. And if I'm Philly, if I'm going to lose Embiid because he don't want to be here, that's a good package. That's a good package right there. That's a good package. Okay, that's a really good package. So we'll see. So we covered a lot. We talked about Randle. We talked about RJ, IQ, Obi, Deuce, Hart, Mitch Rob, Grimes. We talked about the Knicks past and present. We talked about their needs, a wing or a power forward that can play the wing like a Grant. They could use that. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sending RJ the same. I know I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Oh, look, man, bless Willis Reed. He was always one of my favorite players. Him and Clyde Frazier. Rest in peace to the captain. Rest in peace. I didn't want to spend a whole show talking about Willis Reed. He passed away at age 80. He lived a beautiful life. He was a really great person, a great man. I remember him. I know everybody talks about the coming through the tunnel against the Lakers. Yes, I remember that. But to me, just seeing him night to night in New York at that time, you got to see him grind. And he was a guy that can match up with Wilt. He can match up with Bill Russell. He can match up with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was a guy that you had that can, make it even with those dudes. And at that time, the NBA was much more physical. And you had like a Wes Unseld who was extremely physical. And you had Willis Reed who was extremely physical. They could play physical basketball with the best of them. And that's why the Knicks were good. I remember seeing when I was about 9, he was scoring 20 points a game. And I was even surprised at that because it didn't look like Willis Reed was scoring that much. Like it looked like Clyde was scoring, Earl Pearl was scoring when he was there, Dollar Bill Bradley, Jerry Lucas, Jared Dave, the Bush. Looked like all of them was scoring. But then all of a sudden you look up and you see Willis Reed had 20 a game. And I remember that. I was like, dang, where is he scoring 20? But he was tough, man. He was a tough cat. and talking about team ball, talk about ball movement. Then they weren't shooting 3-pointers. There was no 3-pointer. See, game was different then. So yeah, Willis Reed, was great ball player, great Nick, great human being. Definitely rest in peace, rise in power to brother Willis Reed. Yeah, it was all that back in the day, man. It was a different game then, different game. Yeah, he was really tough. There was a couple of shorter dudes that could hold their own. Willis was one of them. Y'all remember Dave Cowens for the Celtics? He was only about 6'8", and he was their center, and he was tough. They wouldn't let him maul people though, to be honest with you. But Willis was just plain old tough dude, man. Smart and can be and was tough, man. That's right. He was tough. Back then. Everybody was playing 82 games back then, but then again, their careers didn't last as long either. Willis, he aged fast, man. During the course of the 70s, he aged pretty fast. You could see it happening, and then, he was pretty much done before the end of the 70s. You know, yeah, man. Rest in peace, rise in power for Brother Willis. But yeah, so yeah, I put a word in for Brother Willis, but I'm into right now. I'm looking at the Knicks in the fifth seed, looking to see if we could beat Cleveland and hold on to the fifth seed, get this 47 win, and go into the first round against Cleveland. That's what we're looking at right now. See, so I hear you. I hear you, man. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here today and sharing this time to talk about our favorite team in the New York Knicks. Tomorrow they play in Houston. We'll be talking about that, the preview in the morning. And hopefully they can get right against Houston after this 3-game slide. They can get right against Houston and start righting this ship and getting us ready for the playoffs. Only 7 more games left. They're going to go by pretty quick. And let's hope the Knicks got a big one in Miami on Wednesday. But we got to take care of business tomorrow against Houston first. So let's take care of business against Houston. Then we'll talk about what's going forward. But right now, it's a dogfight. Every game is a dogfight. Yeah, Brooklyn really did some business yesterday against Miami. They really did. I was really impressed with Brooklyn yesterday. But I want to thank all of y'all for being here. Thank all of y'all for the support. Thank all of y'all for being loyal Knicks fans and not the sometimey media foolishness. Thank you all for doing that. Keep staying healthy. Keep staying safe. Enjoy yourself out there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Shalom.